Buddy, 1 second. Just dealing with a lot of stuff right now. So give me a brief moment, please. Okay, so then we have Olaf's lobby I have to join as we do an audio test at the same time.
Tax Act knows you might run into questions while filing your small business taxes.
Shut up about Tax Act.
We have experts on hand who...
Okay. Alright, so that's fine. Anyway, back to looking for the code Olaf sent me. There it is. I'll explain things in a second. Just, I'm dealing with a lot right now. Right now. Okay. Okay, cool. Ugh! Hi, friends. Still have to post this stream is even happening to the world. All right, how's it going, gang? How y'all doing? We are busy. We are busy bees. Players are asking me questions. Okay, so this actually timed out great for me because class day was basically canceled. Dang, in cars. That's nice. Is the new DLC going to be called The Excess of Erections? Of course it is. All right, what do we have today? We have a fun little thematic event going on. So what you're looking at is a 5v5. Can you bring stuff like the Tzeentch hero? No, just Slaanesh or Undivided. Okay, sorry. So the end times are coming, right? Y'all get it? The end times. Cool. On the right-hand side, you have 5 large armies. These are 40 unit slots, double the size of normal. 25,000 funds. You have Tzeentch, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Khorne, and then True Archaon. True Archaon is the only force that can bring Archaon the Everchosen. The other ones have to take either undivided units like unmarked Chaos Warriors, unmarked Marauders, unmarked Chaos Knights, basic Exalted Heroes, or Exalted Heroes or Lords of their specific thing. So Big Ketru has to take Tzeentch units and unmarked units. Nurgle's PA can take Nurgle units and unmarked units. But his extended roster is open, so you can take like Plague Toads and Chaos Warriors and stuff like that. Not too crazy different for them, but does expand their options a little bit. Mostly, they get the larger armies. On the left-hand side, we have the good guys. Jurgen Morphin, Grobnock Coolcleaver, Dreadlord Nilosi, Ignis Flamebeard, and Kira Icewitch to defend against the end times. We all know those names. We all know those names. Those are the classic heroes of legend you all know and love. Except, no, they're not. This time, when the end times horn called, the people looked to Karl Franz, and he was frickin' gone, bro. Ungrim Iron Fist, gone. Grimgor Ironhide, gone. All the legendary lords were nowhere to be found, so these are the random people that stood up to hold back the tide. I had players give themselves names. So Milky Way is playing the Undead, vampire counts led by Jurgen Morphin. They cannot pick a legendary lord or legendary heroes. Incars is piloting Groknock Coolcleaver, which again has to be a generic lord of some kind. Cannot be Wurzag or Grimgor or anything like that. Olaf is playing the Dark Elves with a basic Dreadlord of some kind. Stormrunner is using a basic Dwarf Lord of some kind. And Raced is using a basic Icewitch of some kind for Kislev. True Archaon, by the way, I know I'm jumping around a bit. True Archaon just means he can take literally everything. All 4 gods rosters. No limit on marks, so we could have like 10 marks of Tzeentch, 8 marks of Nurgle, and that's good. That's fine. But the realms of men, since they are smaller than the forces of chaos, chaos is always described as an overwhelming tide, they get 5,000 less funds, but they do have access to their extended campaign exclusive rosters. So we're going to see some weird, overpowered, janky units today, as we'll see who prevails. In our first game, Milky Way was not around when I was pinging people, and then they showed up, but we are going to start with Olaf and Sipa, because those guys were around. So enough of my prattling on. Let's get into it. I'll now tell the players I am ready whenever they are. I'm going to pull an image up, just so I can take a look at the armies and make sure nobody's spending too much money or anything stupid. Chaos versus Order takes up the whole screen. Shrinky dink. A little bit. One player's already ready. So Sipa is piloting Slaanesh Undivided, and I didn't require that the Chaos people named their lords, but they seem to want to anyway. So Sipa went with Trulkork, Puffel, Quitlas Itsu Aksho, Vorkopf Lurus. And he apparently tried to find the most hard-to-say demon lord in the actual Warhammer lore. So that apparently is a real demon. But his Slaanesh forces stand ready and waiting. Looking at it, I don't see anything that breaks the spirit of what we're doing here. So it looks like a reasonable, good army. For the Dark Elves, they have to be led by a non-legendary lord, and they have to leave 5,000 gold unspent. Other than that, they can take anything they want. From the extended roster, the Dark Elves do have some more monstrous options. All right, both players look to be ready. Just about to load in. Olaf was asking me if the map is good. We should be fine to go. I picked Cliff of Beasts because with the gigantic armies, I didn't want to have too many different maps running around in case I pick one that's too small or has too many trees or something, and then armies can't, you know, move around or function. Cliff of Beasts is just a nice end timesy looking open map, so it's pretty good. We're going to get into the first game. Large armies. Oh, crap. Chat popped off while I wasn't looking. Hey, Amalvipus. Hope you're doing good. Watch your Lizard Lord ranking vid yesterday. I thought it would be funny to point out that Tic-Tac-Toe has defeated Bellicor at one point. Yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe is amazing at hunting down demons, for sure. For sure. He's just not as powerful as a Slan. That's like his only downside, in my opinion. You should call Sipa by that demon name every single time you will mention him. Yes. 100% of the Dark Elves extended roster is from McCarth. True. Hey, man, the players knew what was up before they picked Dark Elves. He had to pick an elf. He could have picked High Elves or Wood Elves. He picked Dark Elves. I will not stand here and say I cucked this man. I did not. That's Slaanesh's thing. I gave him all the options in the world. So, for the Dark Elf extended roster trying to hold back the forces of Slaanesh, Slaanesh always starting off fighting the Elves when the end times comes around. We have Black Ark Corsair front lines, the Blades of the Blood Queen, Hargant Executioners, and then some Black Ark Corsair handbows, so a very elite front line compared to what you're used to seeing with extended funds. Then we have Cold One Dread Knights, Knights of the Ebon Claw, Sabertusk packs, and Feral Cold Ones from their extended roster, just getting some different monstrous, cheap armor-piercing units. Well, armor-piercing for the Feral Cold Ones, high weapon strength for the Sabertusk packs. But 3 Cold One Dread Knights to try and hold it down for them here. Yes. We do have 2 explosive squigs, 3 explosive squigs. And then not Rakarth, because he's a legendary lord. And he is not present for this end times. This end times is the unsung heroes of the generic lords. We have a Dread Lord, Sword and Shield, who is named Nilosi, with Hydra Blade and Deadly Onslaught for extra damage, strength through spite to make her an incredible duelist. Then we have Sorceress of Shadows with Occam's Mind Razor and Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and I saw an assassin in there. The assassin does have Assassin's Trophy and Web of Shadows, and ooh, the Scion Red Ruin sneaked in. Tic-Tac-Toe, not the chameleon. Oh, Tic-Tac-Toe. I was thinking of Oxyotl. I'm so sorry. Nah, Tic-Tac-Toe is fraud. He's a fraud. He sucks. He's terrible. I refuse to acknowledge this. On the other side, for Slaanesh, Undivided. Slaanesh has 5,000 more funds than their opponent. This will be a hard fight for the Dark Elves. We have Hellstriders of Slaanesh, 4 of them. Then we have 3 Fiends. Sibilant Slaughtercade, Chaos Chariots, ROR, 2 Hell Cannons, one of which is Soul of Damnation, a front line of Marauders with Hell Scourges of Slaanesh, and basic Marauders of the Warriors of Chaos, 4 Spawn, and then the Demon Prince of Slaanesh with the crazy long name Sipa gave to it that I can't even remember. It only brought Pavane as a spell, but then it did bring its various debuffs to make it a better duelist. Game starts off. There's also some Marauder Horsemen and Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. As the Super Squigs, the Explosive Squigs move up, Hell Cannons immediately fire at the Siren of Red Ruin and do a ton of damage to her on the charge. I have 3 pings. Are they important? Yeah. An Explosive Squig's going to charge straight in. Sipa does get the Spawn of Slaanesh in the way, so they eat some of the damage, but actually, honestly, it still did okay damage for the Super Squigs. Yeah. Yeah. Front lines are engaged. Spawn overextending a little bit. Marauders not quite here yet, but these are Black Ark Corsairs. It's not like their spears or anything too important. As Coldwind Dread Knights get a surround on the Demon Prince of Slaanesh, who is going to walk away. Pavane rampaging them and his various debuffs, keeping him relatively safe. On the far side, Hellstriders and Fiends and Infantry. Everybody is ganging up on these guys as the Knights of the Ebon Claw try and hold, but they are going to have a very tough time. Sipa being up in damage value is incredibly concerning, considering he started out with 5,000 more funds. The Bloodrack Medusa trying to fall back, and where is... Oh! The Dreadlord dove the backline Hell Cannons. Huh. Alright. Trying to shut down that shooting for now. Hellstriders are coming back to deal with this, as well as it looks like the Demon Prince of Slaanesh is lurking in the background. Balance Power is turning heavily against the Dark Elves. It looks like Ulthuan might fall. The Dark Elves did, in the lore, they did take it over, killing a lot of High Elves, and then they kind of made a weird joint alliance, but then Ulthuan sank anyway, so this is lore-friendly. It turns out that when you do a giant civil war just before the demons show up, you aren't in the best position to then fight the demons. In the background, Nilosi's doing okay, the Dreadlord. She's doing fine. She's just surrounded by garbage. So while she churns through garbage, the rest of the battle is turning against Olaf, who has done a pretty impressive job of keeping up in damage value. But once again, not to belabor the point, but he is 5,000 gold short of his opponent, so he has to trade up in damage value. And Dark Elves not having the most campaign exclusive units to really mitigate that buffer of 5,000 gold is pretty tough, because the difference was, one, I wanted larger Warriors of Chaos armies, so it was kind of oppressive and the good guys had a hard time winning. That's fair. But also, campaign units are strong as shit, so you kind of needed that extra funds so the Warriors of Chaos don't just get raffle stomped. But Dark Elves showing they don't have that great of extra extended rosters, just Feral Coldwinds and Explosive Squigs. They're having a bit of difficulties. Looks like the left flank has entirely collapsed and the Warriors of Chaos are moving in. The center is still holding okay for the Dark Elves. They're even winning certain infantry matchups, which is pretty good. And the right flank is fine. But the big flank overload on the left is proving rather deadly for the Dark Elves, as now Skirmish Cav and stuff are in the back line. The Demon Prince with the crazy long name does rampage the Sorceress of Shadows into their sword. They're just murdering those guys. Meanwhile, Nilosi in the background has still been just stuck on Hellstriders this whole time. Stuck fighting them. One of the Hell Cannons is still online. It's even the Soul of Damnation. Looks like army loss is going to hit very soon for the Dark Elves here. And it was an honorable attempt from them, but Slaanesh breaks out of the Chaos Wastes and pillages Ulthuan. GG's. Explosive Squigs. Not great value, but kind of okay. Other than that, the armies are too big to really go into detail. Hell Cannons didn't get that much done, but Fiends did fine. Marauder Horsemen did all right. GG's to the forces of Slaanesh. And I need to go find my next game. But in the meantime, we'll update the scoreboard. I need to select the most top one. This one. Boop. Cross out the Dark Elves. To go find our next game. Somewhere I posted what the order is going to be, but now I'm having a hard time finding it. All right, Incar's invited me. We're just going to Incar's. Incar's in Nurgle's PA. On my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. There we go. Found it. So it'll be Incar's and Nurgle's PA. Then we'll go up to Milky Way and Big Ketru, then back down. So we're going from the middle up and then down just due to the order players were available. Get the blocker back up just in case I walk in on their builds. There's Incar's game. 1, 2, 3. Stay on the same map. Like I said, it's a big open map with a chaosy vibe. Greenskins versus Nurgle. Well, Nurgle undivided with Volnir the Reaper leading them. That's actually a character from a book I have read. Volnir the Reaper. It's kind of like Nurgle-y, but he's like Wulfric the Wanderer for Nurgle. Just a really crazy good duelist in general. Both armies look fine to me. We're good to go. Incar's is ready. He just asked me if his army looked good, and I just said yes, so it'll take him a little bit to get going. But we're off to game 2 here. The forces of good behind the Greenskins. Wah. We'll have to try and hold. And what's his name again? Groknok Cool Cleaver. Trying to hold back Volnir the Reaper. Ryan G, that's very possible. I just wanted to stop myself from getting rear charged over and over again because Scaven leadership is not ideal. Does the extended roster actually have cool shit? It depends on the roster. Dark Elves, not really, but like High Elves and Dwarves have some pretty freaking crazy extended roster stuff. All right. For the forces of extended Greenskins, we have Lava Spider Riders, fire damage, armor piercing Spider Riders versus Nurgle. So your armor and your healing is all kaput versus these very cheap 475 gold armor piercing Lava Spider Riders. Maybe these can turn the tide against the forces of chaos. Also, all right, last thing and then I'll shut up. I had to plan this event's rules with the worst possible abuses in mind. Raced picked Kislev, but he could have picked Bretonnia, Kislev, Empire, or Cathay. And the Empire with campaign extended units is pretty freaking crazy. So, you know, if Kislev ends up losing because they don't have like literally any extended units, that's not my fault. Player picked that. That's not I didn't do that. I didn't do a single thing. Anyway. For other campaign exclusive units, we have 2 Lava Arachnarok Spiders. They do have a Mortis Engine effect. They also have a bombardment that they can just use to shoot molten rocks everywhere. And then they have fire ammunition on their back and fire damage in melee. So once again, reducing Nurgle's potent healing. For Groknok Cool Cleaver himself, we have an Orc War Boss on a pig with just Opal Amulet. Try and make him a little cheaper. And then Orc Boy frontline mixed with Goblin Spears. Ruglin's Armored Orcs and Savage Orc Armor Boys backing him up. We have an Orc Shaman as well with Here We Go and Brainburster. And then for our backline, Savage Orc Boar Boys and Orc Boar Boy Biggins with the Broken Tusk Mob mixed in there as well. Can the pure 5 armor piercing, 360 shooting, 4 of which do fire damage units carry against Nurgle? We will find out. For Nurgle, we have Marauder Horsemen and Horse Masters, a frontline of Forsaken, including the Demon Spew, which is marked by Nurgle, Chaos Furies, Bile Trolls, the recently updated DLC unit, And then we have Rot Knights, including the Rotting Riders, 3 Rot Knights total, Frolickers, Bubonic Nurglings, and we have an Exalted Hero of Nurgle, Chaos Lord Volnir himself, and then a Sorcerer of Nurgle with just Stream of Corruption and Miasma Pestilence. With a crazy big army, I actually like spamming out the cheap spells and getting your Children of Nurgle as much as possible. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like the peasants you were chasing would instant route on their way back from Terror. Nah, dude, those guys, even with the Doom Wheel trying to stop them, they kept coming back into the dang fight. But it's possible. I feel like the Grand Cathay matchup is cursed for Scaven right now. I hate it. Every time I play it, I hate it. Oh, there's Black Orcs too. Hey, Black Orcs. We shall see what these armies can produce. Bile Trolls not gonna enjoy dealing with all this fire damage and terror. Game 2 starts. Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters running forward. They will lose that skirmish fight. Spider Riders are pretty cracked. Pretty nice damage onto those Marauder Horsemen. A little bit of reciprocal damage on the Lava Rider Archers. Whoa. Stream got super pixely. Why? That's weird. Hopefully it didn't get too pixely for you guys. I have no idea why it's being that way. As the front lines advance, I got distracted by my stream health. More skirmish cab moving around the side, but the Lava Arachnarok Spider charges into the Forsaken, knocking them away and starting that Mortis Engine drain down. I want to see if they use either of their eruptions. We'll have to see. I think they do friendly fire damage. It's not like you can just use them willy-nilly and kill off all your own Black Orcs. And yeah, on the charge, these Forsaken getting messed up. The Fire Spider Rider is still doing well, but here come the Rot Knights charging straight into Savage Orc Boar Boys. The Boar Boys will hold them back for pretty cheap while the Lava Spider Riders try and get their damage out. Over the top, we do have Here We Go, but the Bile Trolls are now left alone because the Forsaken abandoned them, and they will soon rout as well. So the front line going very well for the Greenskins. On the back line, Chaos Furies diving into the Savage Orc Boar Boys who are just trying to join the fight against the various Rot Knights. And Rot Knights have already gotten through the first line of Savage Orc Boar Boys. Can the skirmish cab get too much done? So far, it's not looking like it. The Greenskin front line is going great, but the flanks are a little more suspect. Still, Inkar's up to a damage value lead, which is pretty good. The first Lava Arachnarok Spider charged up by a Wa charges Volnir and his gang, with Orc Boar Boy Biggins also running in. This could be a pretty huge moment for them. They are going after the Exalted Hero, not the caster at the moment, but amazing damage out from this Lava Spider Spider thing. Lava Arachnarok Spider, that one. 91 melee attack plus its bonus versus large. It is not missing at all. Meanwhile, Nurgle's PA has completely saturated the backline of the Greenskins. Most of their archer units are already shut down. We have one Lava Spider Rider free, Morgan's Vineyard Marauders free as well, doing their best. But the Hero Hammer sniping attempt is going well for the Greenskins. Once again, anything on their front line has been doing great. The flanks, not as much. Bile Trolls continually getting routed off. And Forsaken trying to rejoin the fight, but they'll immediately get drained down by that Thermal Thorax drain effect from the Lava Arachnarok Spider, so they won't be here for very long, I think. Exalted Hero routing away. Volnir is stuck mostly on his own as the Sorcerer has abandoned him. Elsewhere, Cool Cleaver fighting back against Frolickers, Bubonic, the Demon Spew, and Rot Knights, though his support is about to fade away, so he might want to retreat while he still has boys behind him. We are into a slobber knocker of a game. Inkars has nearly made up the gold value difference, meaning they have the same amount of gold still on the field, but he's even on the balance of power for now. And things are getting a little scary as the Greenskin leadership is failing. They are running in every direction. Nurgle doesn't have the ability to run them down, however. They don't have the speed or the extra resources, but still, when your leadership fails, it's really hard to get back into the fight because you're already going to be at low leadership. Father of Blades debuff is down. Lava Arachnarok Spider debuffed, but still has pretty high stats. But the Black Orcs nearby, immune to psychology is the only thing keeping them in this fight, but that Stomach Acid -8 leadership against the Greenskins is pretty brutal, making the Black Orcs think about abandoning this poor Lava Arachnarok Spider. Second one is joining into the fight, draining down the Rot Knights, and oh, if they have their eruptions still, which they do, if they ever lose all of their support, then they have no fear of just popping those eruptions, and that could probably kill a lot of Rot Knights very quickly. Meanwhile, Cool Cleaver himself is abandoned for a bit. Some Rot Knights were surrounding him, but now they're going back over here. I wonder if we will get that eruption or not. There's still a lot of Black Orcs around here, but maybe if you have Rot Knights, those are expensive enough units to maybe burn your own Black Orcs for that. We have a big surround going on in the back here as a Waz popped just as the Spider Riders start to latch back onto the Marauder Horsemen. With Chaos Furies thinking about abandoning them, all these Skirmish Cavs starting to run away. That's a pretty big pick-off for the Greenskins, but the full health Rot Knights rejoining the fight and getting decent damage onto these guys is pretty bad for the forces of the Greenskins. Still the dual Lava Ragnaroks doing their best to carry, draining down a ton of stuff, still high HP, still good anti-large and whatnot. This one has 2,800 value already. His Incar's now at just around a 5k lead. Just around a 5k lead, but Cool Cleaver takes the duel to Volnir himself with two giant lava spiders pressing in. The Chaos Lord of Nurgle wants nothing to do with this. He is going to start to retreat, and he can get away. The Lava Ragnaroks can't keep up. Greenskins, for now, they are maintaining some independence in the far fields, but Nurgle is doing a good job of running them down, especially these Rot Knights. Now, the Rot Knights are a little too slow to catch a lot of the Skirmish Cav, but they're still healthy enough that you just can't keep any real presence in this back line. We can see a lot of the Greenskins are even starting to shatter. They've just been routed too many times. Greenskins do have to reform around the double Lava Ragnaroks. Some Black Orcs you still have, and then you still have Cool Cleaver himself and the Orc Shaman. So you still have a bit of power back here. Quite a bit of power, actually. If I had to pick someone to win this game right now, I'd probably say I would rather be the Greenskins. The dual Lava Ragnaroks just seem super potent, but Nurgle keeping this game very close, just taking some time for now to retreat, run down any routing Greenskins to diminish their forces for later in the game, and give your Rot Knights some time to regenerate up away from the fire damage of those Lava Ragnaroks. How many players is it, IE? It's 2 players, and it's not Immortal Empire, it's multiplayer. The stream doesn't seem to like it when the camera moves fast. Gotcha. For some reason, my bitrate is crazy throttled right now, and I have no idea why. Sorry, just talking to stream chat while Nurgle regroups their forces. I have no idea why the quality dipped. We pay a ton for good internet for streaming, and it is not doing very well. Need to check internet speed test. Lava Ragnarok's moving up. We do have a brain burst out onto Marauder Horsemen. The Exalted Lord, sorry, the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle charges in to get in a fight with this Lava Ragnarok, but it's doing just fine. I wouldn't be surprised to see its eruption right about now before the Greenskins get into range, so it could do some friendly fire, but it doesn't look like it's going to use it just yet. It's not happening. All right, my internet speed is fine, so it's YouTube that's throttling us. Got it. Another Here We Go is out. The Lava Ragnarok is taking insane damage. It needs to use that eruption. Still has 2 uses of it, so maybe it did use it relatively recently. It's getting surrounded, it's getting beat up. The other Lava Ragnarok coming in, still draining down all these units with that double Mortis engine. Now, it doesn't stack on itself, but you still have 2 different sources of it. Volnir is taking a lot of damage from this Lava Ragnarok. That is thinking about retreating. I did see a little eruption in there. We can see a little pockmarks on the ground, and there we go. Terror Route starting to come in. Frolickers Bubonic thinking about demonic instability crumbling. Maybe the Greenskins can hold on after all. One of the Lava Ragnaroks is taken out back. Less than 1,000 HP. It is going to either shatter or just die. It looks like it will just... no, it is going to shatter. So it's still draining anything it walks past, but Volnir should finish it off. Frolickers Bubonic are going to be dead, though. Orc Shaman also taken out. Cool Cleaver not doing great, and the Rot Knights are charging back in. We have got to somehow take out this Chaos leadership. Volnir takes another couple shots from the Lava Ragnarok, but that minus leadership for everybody could be pretty huge. And remember, this is just a Nurgle-themed Warriors of Chaos army. It is not actually a Nurgle army, so there's no chance of a fecundity to heal them all up or anything like that. Miasma Pestilence lowering the melee attack of this Lava Ragnarok. But the Orc Shaman is allowed to come back. They didn't dedicate forces to chasing him off. They instead committed to the blob fight with all of these extra units. I have to think that's a mistake, as now there's more units to get drained down, and that does allow us to get another spell out, which it looks like is going to be an here we go for the Black Orcs. Plus 40 melee attack. The Lava Ragnarok Spider is still trying to hold, still trying to fight as best it can. Cool Cleava is retreating, but a full health Rot Knight is back into the fray, trying to get rid of these guys. The Mortis Engine of the Ragnarok still doing well. The Greenskins are routing in every direction, but Volnir and his caster are stuck trying to chase them. Orc Boarboy Biggins get a good charge onto these guys, try and hold them back, try and allow some units to recover, some units to come back into the fray. The Lava Ragnarok breaks, and without that, that is going to be army losses in a very close game. The Greenskins were not able to hold on, and Nurgle will advance. All right. For the Greenskins, not something I'm going to like isolate out and talk about too much value because there's just so many freaking units, but Lava Spiders did okay. Lava Ragnarok Spiders did very, very, very well, but not well enough. On the other side, for Nurgle, Heroes did okay. Rot Knights did pretty darn well. Bile Trolls did all right. GG's, lads. GG's. And that is going to be a 2-0 lead for the forces of chaos. Can anyone stand in their way? Looks like we'll go find Milky Way and see if the forces of the undead can do so. Okay. So that's Big Ketrew's game. So we have Undead versus Tzeentch. It's just called Yes. Interesting. Milky Way is a pretty new player. Just debuted on our stream one of the recent weekends. See how they do. Tzeentch Warriors of Chaos are set up. They look fine. And then for the vampire counts, they look fine. All right, I'll tell them they look fine. Ow, I swallowed wrong and it hurts. Owie, owie, owie. You weren't kidding about that Sipa demon name? Yeah, it's long, dude. It's long. So, Tzeentch is led by Cluck Norris. And Milky Way, their forces are led by Jurgen Morphin, which is apparently their current Vampire Counts campaign character. Jurgen Morphin is apparently just a basic Master Necromancer. Once again, the forces of Order cannot use the legendary lords, so no Manfred von Karstein. Looks like we got a Master Necromancer to take his place. I apologize about the stream quality. I have no idea why it's doing that, and it is honestly pissing me off. Bit rate. I'm gonna lower my bit rate and see if aiming for a lower number will give it more consistent hitting of the number. Stream's current bitrate is 4,700. That's not my fault. I'm trying to give you 12,000. And I have internet that can support 12,000 YouTube, so why aren't you getting it? I'll cover the builds in a second, sorry. Dealing with stream issues, which is incredibly stressful and annoying. Yeah, it still looks like shit. Why? Whatever. We'll finish this stream. I'll troubleshoot it offline, but I am furious. Because I pay $120 in internet a month to try and fix this problem, and it fixed it for a bit, and now it's saying my bitrate. YouTube is saying my bitrate is 4,700, which I currently told OBS to stream at 15,000. I just downgraded it to 12,000, and it still says the bitrate is low. And YouTube's like, we recommend you using 13,500. I am, you dumb bitch! I'm trying to! You're not accepting it for some reason. And then I checked my internet speed. My internet speed is great, so I don't know what YouTube's problem is, but YouTube's yelling at me because YouTube's not accepting the bitrate I'm sending its way. Anyway, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I am fine. Okay, for the vampire counts, they are down 5,000 golds. They will have a smaller army, but this army is crazy elite, apparently. 2 Blood Knights, 2 Terror Geists, the recently buffed extra mass vampire counts anti-large unit. Then we have Vargeists. Then we have the Sternsman and a Graveguard with great weapons and Graveguard regular front line. Couple Crypt Horrors, couple zombies. We do have a White King with Scabscrath, and then he's on a horse. Master Necromancer is on a corpse cart with an unholy lodestone. He brought zombies, he brought Invocation and Heck. And then we have 3 Sylvanian Handgunners. Imperial Handgunners on undead roster. Hopefully they can do some carrying. On the other side, for the forces of Cluck Norris and Tzeentch United, we have a Marauder Horseman of Tzeentch, of course, Shrieking Skyrays, and then the Marauders of Tzeentch with spears. Basic Marauder front lines from the Warriors of Chaos, the Severed Claw. We have Aesian the Fallen, Mutoth Vortex Beast, ROR. Then we have pink and blue horrors, including the Frolickers, Bubonic, and Sourguts. Double Hell Cannon, the Soul of Damnation being one of them. Knights of Immolation. Up north, we have Sky North, yes, anyway. In the sky, we have the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch with a halberd. That is Cluck Norris himself. And then an Exalted Hero to be his buddy. And where is your caster? I saw one. I swear I saw one. There we go. He's on a War Shrine. On a Tzeentchian War Shrine, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch with blue and pink fire. And we'll get more Winds of Magic, more spell mastery as he casts more spells. Where is Krell? I don't know why the stream's being terrible, but I am gonna close that window and just rely on my streamer dashboard to tell me what's going on. That might help a little bit, but I'm very sorry, friends. I am very sorry. That is apparently being a pooper. Stream is working fine. Yeah, it's just not HD, which we've done a lot of improvements to get it to be HD, so the fact that it's just not is really pissing me off. And I sometimes check on it because I can see you guys on the other screen, and it's like blurry or grainy, which is annoying. So yeah, I don't know. I'll fix it later, but it's just bothering me because like I put a lot of time into solving that issue and getting it to look good, and I also pay a fuck ton of money for good internet to make it look good. So then when it looks like piss, it's like, okay, internet company or YouTube, one of you two, you're gonna refund me for all the goddamn money I pay to make this look nice? Because one of you two is throttling me for no reason? No need to be sorry. Yeah, I'm just frustrated, you know? Because like, I stream all the time, and maybe I sound chill, but it's still like a performance, you know? So it's kind of like public speaking, so you're nervous, and if like the mic cuts out, you're not going to be like, well, the mic cut out, whatever, it's fine. It's like, no, something's going wrong, and it bothers me. The product isn't that good. I don't know. We'll deal with it after the stream. Players are ready. I don't know what we waiting on exactly. They will start the game shortly. Apologize for the delay. There we go. It gets grainy when you move fast? Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Now I'm getting a warning the stream's current bitrate is 3,100, which, fuck that. My internet speed's way higher than that. I just did another test. OBS is trying to stream 15,000 bitrate, so only 3,000 is reaching YouTube, and it's really dumb. Because I could spend $80 less a month on internet and get shitty grainy streams. I would like to save $80 and do that. But if I'm paying you $120 fucking dollars for good internet, it better work. All right, Tzeentch moving up. They do have 2 hell cannons, so the vampire counts have to move up quickly. They need to move up quickly. They cannot stand here. Uh-oh. They're gonna take a bunch of free damage. Milky Way is a newer player. When they popped on our stream last, they had a Scaven versus Empire matchup where they had 1 play clock catapult duel 2 cannons, and the cannons just shot the piss out of them. So I'm really hoping they learned from that and they know they need to move up. Okay, good. They're starting to move up. If we had another game where 2 hell cannons just shot them for free, I was going to be like, Milky Way, move! When you are outranged, you have to move to your opponent. Vargeists and Terrorgeists going in for a bit of an air fight. I'm worried they're overextending, though. If Ketru lands, he's going to drag them into a bad situation. It looks like the Vargeists are actually going to dive the Soul of Damnation. This could be worth it. It's risky. If the Vargeists die and the Soul of Damnation lives, then it was not worth it. But if they take the Soul of Damnation with them for a 1-for-1 trade, then that's super worth it, because you killed a 1,500 gold unit with your 1,000 gold Vargeists and got rid of that constant artillery pressure that's already hurting the civilian handgunners, which 2 of them are thinking about routing. And they're not undead. The civilian handgunners are supporting the undead, but they are mortal, so they can flee. And they also can't be healed by Invocation Heck. Yeah, it looks like the Vargeist charge is not going to be worth it, though. The Soul of Damnation survived, and the Vargeist will not. They technically have healing and whatever, but they're out of range of their Necromancer to heal them, and they're, you know, crumbling and getting hit with skirmish caps. They are going to die off, so that's a pretty rough start here for the Vampire counts. As they still move up, they do have the better front line. Graveguard backed up by Crypt Horrors will definitely beat various amounts of Marauders. But I don't know if they'll beat Marauders well enough to counteract these pink and blue horrors. Another thing the Vampire counts have is a melee mobility advantage. Their Blood Knights can easily destroy the 4 skirmish cav that Tzeentch brought. So their Blood Knights have to get active, and they have to get into the enemy backline nice and early. But it looks like they might be disjointed. They're starting to move now. I'm just worried they won't be here before a lot of frontline damage has been taken. And losing a Vargeist that early is pretty rough too. Shrieking Skyrays use their little blast to separate Graveguard, but it doesn't have any armor piercing, so the Graveguard actually tanked it out pretty nicely. It does a lot more damage versus light infantry. Graveguard with shields up, charge into the Tzeentchian fire. What would you spend that $80 on? Porcelain dolls? I don't know. Saving it? Trying to buy a house someday? Since when does Tzeentch have hell cannons? It's Tzeentch Undivided, so it's Warriors of Chaos, but they can take Tzeentch units or Undivided. Terrorgeist dives in to help the Sternsmen against Aesian the Fallen. This is a great fight for the Terrorgeist. Anti-large armor piercing versus Aesian should be pretty good. Sylvanian handgunners, all 3 of them have been routed away from the fight. Back here is a little more problematic. The Terrorgeist is getting hit with Marauder Horseman skirmish fire while fighting a 2v1 against 2 anti-large armor-piercing units, but the Blood Knights have finally arrived, and they are going to clean through the pink horrors of the backline and shut down the Soul of Damnation. So the Vampire count's now fully in the melee. They are down 2,500-ish damage value, but with a lot of healing that Tzeentch doesn't have, they might be able to claw it back, though the Master Necromancer is not in the fight yet, and I don't believe he's cast any invocations of Nehek as of this moment. Marauders starting to fail, as the Graveguard and Crypt Horrors can get into the backline. Doom Knights of Tzeentch and Shrieking Skyrays have to dive up. What was that aimed at? That's weird. I don't know where the blue fire was going. It just kind of went. Oh, I like this. The White King is actually tracking down the Tzeentch caster and just going to apply constant annoying poke to him as the Blood Knights take a bunch of damage. They need Invocation and Heck. I don't think the Master Necromancer has cast any yet, but he needs to get on healing his expensive units rather quickly. Something's got to be done about this. Hell Cannon is too low to mount its cannon again, so you can ignore that at this point. Several pink horrors are dying. You can see some are demonic instability crumbling, others are close. So this left flank for the vampire counts is actually going pretty darn well. The right flank is going kind of okay, not amazing. Bounce powers vary against the vampire counts. They are down on damage value, so that's something. As the White King continues to try and harass the Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch. Looks like he's getting distracted now. He's going after Marauders. Does need new orders to get back onto that Chaos Sorcerer and shut him down. Meanwhile, the Sour Guts fell back. We still have 4 Skirmish Cav firing away, and in comes the Exalted Hero and the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. 5k diff, way too much. Maybe. I mean, the Greenskin game was crazy close with Nurgle, but it is what it is. Rough matchup with the gold disparity, I suppose. I haven't seen a lot of Invocation to Hex. Probably could have used Gaze into Gash, yeah. People mentioning that as well. That is a very strong spell for the Master Necromancer. The frontline fight went very well for the vampire counts. And honestly, the balance of power is like very against them, but I feel like they've done fine. Look at all the units just routing away from the forces of Tzeentch. I think it's just like the money that's left. Doom Knights are still full health and they're very expensive. Asian's full health, he's very expensive. Lord and Hero very expensive and full health. So a lot of elite units are still left for the forces of Tzeentch. But the vampire counts did a good job cleaning up most of the actual army. For Tzeentch, they started with 1,800 and they're down to 900, while the vampire counts are at about 900 down to 1,800 as well. So they're very equivalent on troop exchange. It's just the elite troops of the Tzeentch forces are completely fine. Cryptor is fighting around the Master Necromancer, trying to defend him from Asian. You're surprised there weren't more hard counter picks? Yeah, I put Tzeentch against the undead in general, and then the undead player picked the vampire counts from them. The White King is starting to actually put in a ton of work on the Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch, but it doesn't look like it's enough. His army losses is going to take hold. Overall, good attempt from the vampire counts. Nice to see improvement from Milky Way. Their first game. They had some good, like, micro and good engagements, but their whole army had some issues with, like, not all moving at the same time or whatever. This one was much better. Vargeists YOLO'd into a bad situation a bit, but after that, I mean, the Terrorgeist waited to engage until the front line was there. Blood Knights went around back like they were supposed to. Didn't AFK and let the Hell Cannon shoot them for too long, so good improvement from Milky Way. Love to see it. Overall, a good win for Cluck Norris, also known as Big Ketru. GG's, lads. GG's. Bam, bam, boom, pow. Also, before everybody yells at me too much, the dark... Okay, I set the Elves against Slaanesh. They didn't pick High Elves, which have by far the best extended roster units. They picked Dark Elves, which have some pretty okay ones, to be fair. And Milky Way is a newer player. You know, Big Ketru's quite solid. So, I'm positive on it. And Inkar versus PA, that game could have gone either way. That game slapped. Next up, we have the Dwarves led by Stormrunner versus Captain Tealis on Khorne Undivided. If Tealis needed me to push his game later because he had some errands to run, which is why I moved to the armies around. If he's not home yet, we can go down to Raced versus Ash, but I did want Archaon to be the final of 5 battles because that seems very thematic. They are good, but not Lava Spider good. Lava Spider is very good. I do not have a lobby code yet, so you guys are going to sit on this blocker for just a moment. Weird. Flamebeard is Dowie? Yeah, Flamebeard's Dowie. Put the blocker up, right? Dwarves versus Khorne. Dwarves and Khorne. For Dwarves, we still have 5,000 funds. We have some grudge settler units. And on the side of Khorne, we have Khorne type units. Man, Khorne Undivided just gives Khorne a caster. That's messed up. That ain't right. This can't be. Put my desk into sitting form. Whoop. I have stood for long enough. Some factions are almost complete, just missing too many things to fit into a DLC. TA is now releasing units as free LC. Tomb Kings could benefit from that. I think they're only missing 2 units of 1 character. Wouldn't that be missing not enough units for a full DLC? Sir? Sir. T-list is loading up. I haven't gotten to see a lot of the Dwarven Grudge Settler units in action, but I hear that they're OP. So for the Dwarves, can they turn the ship around? We have gyrocopters, and then gyrocopters regulars, 2 regular gyrocopters, and then we have the Trollhammer Grudge Settler gyrocopters, anti-large armor-piercing fire ammunition helicopters. Then we have Peak 8 Guard Hammers, Dragonback Slayers, Regular Slayers, Longbeard Frontlines, Miners of Blasting Charges, Iron Drake Grudge Settlers. I think that just gives them higher stats. I don't see anything else too different there. Althar's Raiders, the Grim Delvers, the Skulder Guard, and then a cannon and a flame cannon Grudge Settler variant. Again, I don't really know what it changes. Looks like it just gives it higher stats. We have Master Engineer with some artillery accuracy buffs, and a Rune Lord, who's the Firebeard himself, with Rune of Speed, Rune of Slowness, and Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Iron Drakes have more range, you believe. Interesting. Also, hi, Chakro. Been a bit. Been a bit. On the other side, for Khorne Undivided, we have Forsaken Regular, Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons as a front line, more mixed throughout. Then we have Chaos Furies of Khorne, Bloodletters as well. 4 Blood Beasts. Yes, 4 Blood Beasts, more Bloodletters. Chosen of Khorne as well, and then a Chaos Lord of Khorne, who must be Deathbringer by his name. He's on his Juggernaut mount with Fight or Die as his only real thing. Oh, and he has the Icon of Endless War. And we do have a Shadows Caster, which Khorne is not used to getting. Melkot's an Enfeebling Foe for him. Okay. A lot of infantry brought here by Khorne. We'll see if the Dwarves can clear them all. Yeah, that is a huge army. 2,446 angry Khornates, including 4 Warhounds in the vanguard. For the Dwarves, just 1,300 brave souls to stop them. Longbeards! Iron Drakes! Other Iron Drakes! And then more Iron Drakes! 120 range versus 100 range. I am not impressed. How'd you pick the players? I just posted on my Discord an announcement that I needed 10 players, and I told them what they were signing up for, and everybody picked a slot. Some people picked Elves. Others went like, I'll play Khorne, I'll play Tzeentch, I'll play these things. Yeah, I just posted it about 4 hours ago and said, I'm streaming at 1. If anybody wants to play, sign up. Players seem set up. They're waiting for something. I don't know what it is. Alright, here we go. Flame cannons, 250 range. So the cannons will be in range first, and they're going to start off by firing at Furies. Chunking out a couple models, taking them down. Are you going to do more tournaments like this? Probably. Just seemed like fun. Flame cannon already in range. We do have Grim Delvers and Ulthar's Raiders on the flank. Being very cheeky, but I'm not sure they're actually going to get in range to do very much. We'll see. As the Flame Cannon is maybe proving why you don't see much Flame Cannon around. I mean, this is the Grudge Settler version. And it got a better volley on that second volley. And then it's going to turn and fire at these other Marauders to some decent damage out. Scolder Guard and the Iron Drake Grudge Settlers just getting into range soon, so they should be able to fire back at these guys. Stormrunner did name his Lord Firebeard, so I suppose he warned us this was coming. A lot of flame damage onto these guys. As the Gyrocopters get locked up by Chaos Furies of Khorne, there is not a lot of Thunderers or Archers to help them with those Chaos Furies, and yeah, the Ulthar's Raiders and the Grim Delvers going for this Vanguard is not working out. They're not going to be here for the fight. I honestly wonder if they'll get a single shot off. One of the Gyrocopters is already dead. Trollhammer Torpedoes looking for a place to fire in. Meanwhile, dogs stream through the back line and get onto the cannons. Looks like they're going for the flame cannons next, as more dogs come leaping in onto the Slayers, which the Dragonback Slayers are living their best life fighting back against these forces. Telis is he caught up and got ahead on damage value, which again, as we've noted, the demon forces have more money, so the good guys have to get ahead on damage value to win. Iron Drake Grudge Settler still firing in, but Khorne is blitzing through this front line. We can see it's very thoroughly saturated as the Dwarves try and fight back. Dragonback Slayer is really the only ones happy with the situation. Ulthar's Raiders and the Grim Delvers still walking over? No, they have stopped. No, they're walking. They're walking. They'll get here someday. Bloodletters and Forsaken Khorne wrapping around the front line, but the front line fight is already so far gone that they would either not get here in time or arrive after the Dwarves are dead. Bloodletters and the Blood Beasts team up on these guys. Slayer's still holding these guys back. Firebeard threw out a Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I saw it over there as the Chosen of Khorne are starting to join the fight, but the Dwarves will throw in the towel. Not able to keep those Gyrocopters up. Not able to hold their front line. And rip the Grim Delvers and Ulthar's Raiders not able to take part in the fight. Flame Cannon didn't do that great. Regular Cannon also had some troubles. And then all the Gyrocopters not paying for themselves. Pretty tough. Dwarf Warriors, the Dwarven Infantry were like, listen, we did our job. I don't know where the rest of you were. You artillery waziks. It's down to Kislev. Rest and Ash. Carry Ice Switch versus True Archaon. Man, what kind of Lord of the M times would he be if he was the only demon to lose? Just like the lore, Grimgor does the best. So this wasn't Grimgor, it was Cleaver, but you get the gist. Ash sent me a code. Join with code. Join up. So I now know what is going to happen if Kislev wins. We will have a 4-person chaos free-for-all to see who gets the honor of fighting Kislev. If Ash wins, then we have a 5-0 sweep for the forces of Spooky Spook Chaos. All right, just checking some messages. Kislev is ready. True Archaon looks to be getting ready. Pure, undivided. Let's do it. Kiara Ice Witch bringing some feral bears and some giant spiders, armor-piercing poison spiders, to try and buff up the forces of Kislev against Archaon. Archaon brought no marked units whatsoever, with 5 chosen included. How's the Knights of the Brazen Throne differ buff matter? IDK the math. Their mass increase makes it easier for them to get out of infantry when they get surrounded. And more mass usually means more damage on impact, if I'm correct about that calculation, so their charges will do even more damage. Ash knows he was allowed the marks. I think he just picked whatever he felt like at the time. I think he was going for a Dragon Ogre meme. So for True Archaon, we have the first legendary lord of the day, and the only. It is the Everchosen himself, Archaon the Everchosen, with just Searing Doom and the Crown of Domination. Brought 2 exalted heroes on Manticores, a Gorbeast Chariot, Chaos Knights, Chaos Warriors with Halberds, Chosen with Halberds, Marauders, Forsaken, and Chosen with Great Weapons. We have some Dragon Ogres, 3 of them total as well. And that is about it. On the other side, for Kislev, we have some Griffin Legions, Mordheim Beowulfs, an Ice Witch of Tempest with Blizzard and Hailstorm. And then we have Feral Bears, Giant Spiders, Dervishes, Streltsy, Kislevite Warriors, and Armored Kossars. And I thought I saw, there we go, Boydanov's Brawlers mixed in here. The Shotgun Arwar Streltsy boys. Giant Spiders and Feral Bears. Actually, Feral Bears aren't majority armor piercing. They just have crazy high weapon strength with 30 bonus versus large. Oh my god. That is so much bonus versus large. So armor piercing spiders and crazy bonus versus large bears. That gives them 80 melee attack versus large units. Oh my god. These bears are cracked. That is such a high melee attack. Holy shit. Okay. And there's the spooky, scary giant spiders with their armor piercing. Here we go. The last hope for the forces of good was 5k funds literally untenable. Is it impossible to win a game that far down on money, even with OP campaign units? It might just be. I should better watch out. They come bearing down on his dragon ogres. Yeah. Remember that they cost 850. They do cost 850. Yeah. OP campaign units. Their low armor means they aren't great in a prolonged fight. Not that amazing for a campaign. Just cycle charge them, bruh. Just cycle charge them. They don't have a rampage. They're fine. They're fine. We're off to the races. Ice Witch has to avoid Archaon. She can't take that fight. She can't take that smoke. Griffin Legion running forward. Don't know if they want to deal with Chosen on the charge. We see so little Chosen, I honestly don't know how much impact damage they even take, but it looks like the Griffin Legion maybe don't want that. Here, they'll go for the Marauders, though. Little poke. Need to be careful about these double Exalted Heroes getting the rear charge on them, as other Griffin Legions charge down the Chosen. The Grey Opens can't stay long, though. Those are Chosen you're messing with, and then Chaos Warriors with Halberds. In comes the rear charge onto the Griffin Legion. They routed the Marauders, need to get away from those Manticores, though. And yeah, charging the Chosen with great weapons and the Chaos Warriors with Halberds did not end up working out, so they will want to back away from that as quickly as possible. Elsewhere, Forsaken got into fights with Kislevite Warriors. Meanwhile, we have the Feral Bears and a Hailstorm coming in, trying to slow these guys down. Giant Spiders are here with their armor piercing and their poison. This is a lot of Dragon Ogres and Chaos Knights, however. More bears are coming up to help out. The Ice Witch is trying to get here. She's busy fighting Forsaken at the current moment. And we are getting an overcasted blizzard onto 2 Chaos Knights. That should be huge damage on the Chaos Knights. Not as much the Dragon Ogres, but big damage onto the Chaos Knights with more bears joining, and this should be a big win for Kislev. Meanwhile, the frontline fight is still ongoing. Voidenov's Brawlers firing at the Chosen with great weapons, slowing them down. Chosen with Halberds also getting pin-cushioned a bit by Streltsy and Armored Kossars. In come the Manticores to stop all that nonsense. On high ground, Chaos Knights retreating a little bit with their tail between their legs. One is almost dead, the other's at half HP. Meanwhile, we did lose a Giant Spider and a Feral Bear, both retreating. Kislevite Warriors arrived to help out the final Feral Bear. Plus, with the Ice Witch, this should still be a winning fight for Kislev in the end. They did lose 2 relatively cheap units. Spiders are, I think, like 500 gold, and the Giant Bears are only 850. Gorby's Chariots ripping through the front line of Armored Kossars. Ice Guard with Glaives, where did you come from? Is Griffin Legion going to charge into the Gorby's as well? Gorby's Chariots should take a lot of damage from this. Do need to pull away quickly. It looks like Ash is on top of it. I thought I saw some of their models starting to leave the fight. They're getting away as best they can. Big collapse in on this flank from the Warriors of Chaos. Not as much around to stop them. Giant Spiders and Feral Bears keeping their distance for now. Don't quite want to get into that fight just yet as Streltsy continue to kite back. Kislev has taken the high ground. They're starting to downhill charge onto Marauders. Buy their ranged units a little bit of space to continue chewing up Chosen like no other. Raced is off to an early lead on the damage value. We get a sudden bout of lag. Don't you crash on me. You can lag, but you can't crash. Snow Leopard Summon is out. Kislevite Warriors and the Giant Ice Lady fighting against the Chaos Knights, who are going to try and retreat right in front of her Hailstorm. Hopefully it was not overcast for her sake, because it's not going to get that much damage out. Meanwhile, Chosen are chosening all over these Armored Kossars. Those guys are not having a good run of it, as Chaos Knights and Dragon Ogres take the fight against the Giant Spiders and Feral Bears. They seem to be winning it. Archaon gets a 3-for-1. Searing Doom onto Ice Guard, Kislevite Warriors, and Armored Kossars. Armored Kossars are already retreating. Voidenov's Brawlers fallen back. Something terrible happened to one of the Exalted Heroes, and I didn't quite see it, as up here both these Chaos Knights are finally routed off. Something in the distance, we've lost Forsaken. Looks like the Dragon Ogres got out of here. Yeah, they're over there. They're doing fine. So all of these Kislevite forces need to get back down onto the low ground and help out their other troops as the Streltsy fall back and continue kiting. The Voidenov's Brawlers stuck fighting Chaos Warriors now, who have advanced. whipping around those massive halberds into their faces. These guys just fire at point-blank range. Thank you, guard mode. There's other Streltsy fire downhill into them. Race is still maintaining about a 2,000, 1,500, somewhere in there, gold lead. But again, he's down 5,000 gold at the start of this game, so he does need a bigger lead than that if he is going to be victorious. Ice Witch comes slurping through. With her terror, she could actually tear out these Dragon Ogres as the Streltsy provide a little bit of supporting fire as she goes through. Corby's Chariot very wounded, but still doing its work. And we still have a lot of Chosen for the Warriors of Chaos. Nice Searing Doom. That is going to do a lot of damage onto the Griffin Legion and the Streltsy. Great 2-for-1 cast there at the sacrifice of a Gorby's Chariot. There's the Tarot for the Dragon Ogres we mentioned. Those guys are retreating. Chosen still in here in pretty good numbers and still have a lot of Kislevite Warriors. Not over yet for Raced. He does have some decent chance. Yeah, still has a decent chance here. Because with Chosen holding up a lot of your balance of power, we have Chosen with Halberds, Chosen with Great Weapons. If you get into a late game situation where this lady can cycle charge, or you just kite them out with Streltsy, you can actually kill them. So the big thing is taking out the Shaggoths, taking out Archaon and all these other guys, and just getting it down to purely armored infantry in the late game, and then you can for sure kite them out and win. Archaon, however, doesn't seem to like that plan, as he is going to come for the Ice Witch now, gets in a fight with her. Meanwhile, a big blizzard in the background, deleting an entire Chosen with Halberds, it looks like. Yeah, that is 2/3 HP off that guy. 3/4. Balance power moved visibly in their favor at that point, but a nice big Searing Doom does kill a lot of people around the Exalted Hero, who is barely holding on somehow. The Feral Bear has thought about retreating. The Ice Witch charges in, gets rid of the Exalted Hero. The other one's going to land behind her. The Kislevite Warriors are already by our blood unbreakable, so they will stand and fight, maybe taking him out as well as he is very low. Kislev, to have a chance, they have to find a way to kill these 2 Dragon Ogres and Archaon. Then they could be okay. But if they can't do that, they will be doomed to a life of evading Chosen. And, you know, dying. Exalted Hero gets rear charged by the Ice Witch of Tempest. Race still maintaining that 2,000 value lead. The Exalted Hero is going to rout any second now away from the Ice Witch, who is just beating his bottom. Down to 1 HP. Is he seriously at 1? He's at actual 1. There we go. He finally died. Griffin Legion, good charging on the Dragon Ogres, while the Streltsy offer a little bit of supporting fire. And, of course, the Ice Witch keeps helping out. They're down to half HP. Archaon's half HP. And where's that last Dragon Ogre I mentioned? Ah, he's right here behind a Kislevite flag. He is just above half HP. Is it doable? Well, that Searing Doom says maybe not, as these Kislevite Warriors are about to get churned up by the lore of metal. Ouchie. Ouchie, 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 but a Terror Out comes in for one of the Dragon Ogres. That is pretty successful at getting rid of those. Griffin Legion could chase them off the map. Do we have any reinforcements for Kislev that are worth mentioning? Not really. Just a couple Armored Kossars getting shots off here and there, but with a half-health Chaos Knight still chasing them down, they'll be okay. One Dragon Ogre regular and Archaon stand between Kislev and Abominations. Untold, the hands of the Chaos Gods. Looks like the Ice Witch is a little stuck. I can't tell if she's still trying to leave or if she's supposed to be fighting and just not getting any attack animations off. We do have Chosen around here still. Has Chosen get into the fights with the Streltsy. Cleave through those guys easily enough. I admire your courage, Ben of Kislev, that you're turning around and pulling out your axes versus the forces of chaos, but Chosen with their enchanted great weapons will beat your butt axes from your guns. Can't tell if that's a Searing Doom or if that's a Hailstorm. I believe that was a Searing Doom doing some damage to Kislevite forces. Meanwhile, Giant Spiders and Kislevite Warriors team up on the Dragon Ogres, actually getting a lot of damage out, and that Blizzard did good poke on the Chosen as well, so the Chosen still have taken a lot of damage. But Archaon is keeping his distance. He knows that if he dies, this is one of the only ways to lose this game. The leadership debuff would make it even easier to tear out everything. And he waits for the Exalted Hero to distract the Ice Witch. Now he is coming running in. Think he is about to end this. Charges straight onto the Ice Witch for the duel of all duels, the final battle. It does look like Kislev is fading away. Ash is catching back up on damage value, so even Wraith's modest lead is leaving him. Fireblood is the only thing keeping these guys in it, as the second Exalted Hero is taken off of his Manticore just before the Kislevite Witch gets surrounded and dragged to the dirt. Really, really good value on the Ice Witch. The Brawlers did fine. Ice Guard didn't do as well. Giant Spiders did fine. Bears did overall well. The other side, Archeon did all right. I have to imagine those Dragon Ogres did very well. Chosen, mixed, but overall solid. Chaos Knights did okay. Dragon Ogres did well. GG's! GG's. I don't think it was a duel when there are about 200 guys on one side versus the Ice Witch on the other. It's true. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Very well. I shall do it myself. Map selection, Cliff of Beasts. Armies, large armies, funds, custom funds, 25,000. Sipa's here. Sipa's not Big Ketru. Whatever. Full undivided for the win. Nice job, Ash. Nice job. The campaign exclusive Scaven will win. The Doombringers. What's different about the Doombringers from regular Warp Fire Throwers? Unbreakable. Got it. All right, so we get some unbreakable Warp Fire Throwers. Death Dealer Rattling Guns. I think they have better... They have slightly longer range. Giselles with Blinded. Oh, Giselles with Blinded. The Eye Takers. That's pretty funny. All right, so we get 2 Death Dealer Rattling Guns. 2 regular Rattling Guns. Skaven Slave front line. Clan Rats backing them up. Clan Rats backing those Clan Rats up. Skaven Slaves backing up those Skaven Slaves. For a Lord, I think we all know I need Queek. Because you gotta do it. You gotta have the Queekinator. So we have the Queekinator. But aside from the Queekinator, we'll get a Plague Priest on his Plague Furnace with his Plague. He'll have Plague cast, and then we'll bring Plague. So that's good. Aside from that, I don't know what to do now. I have all the shoot. I don't need any more shoot. 4 Rat Ogres, some Wolf Rats, and now I'm out of money. Oh no. Give me back my money, please. This is OP. I've already won. Doombringers also have more models. What the fuck? 48 models on the Warp Fire Throwers. Holy smokes. I thought no legendary lords. Hey. Fine. Okay, if you want to buff me by giving me not Queek as my lord, then be my freaking guest. Be my guest, man. If you really... You're gonna die on this hill and give me a better lord than Queek, then fine. Alright, basic warlord. I kind of want some black hole flares. Black hole flares sound dope, not gonna lie. Let's get rid of the Eye Takers. I can't defend them anyway. And then a Warp Fire's Wheel just has regeneration. So that's no good. That's not gonna fly. 650, I don't know. Let's just get a Plague Monk and be done with it. Scaven! All right, 1 second. I'm typing other players. Ash, Ketru, Tilis, and PA. Say Tong on stream. No. But didn't you just? Nope. But didn't you just say Tong? Nope. Tong. Okay. Set up my army. So we have our boy chieftain. I'm gonna call him Wretch Braventail for no reason. And then we have a bajillion and a half frontline units. What's my actual unit count? 3,600 troops. 3,600 troops. So I have 5,000 less funds than my opponent. Okay. So I get less funds than my opponent. But for some reason, you people think I'm gonna win? What? Who set this up? You set me up! You set me up! Alright, let's do it. Warp fire throwers. Unbreakable guard mode warp fire throwers. Okay. You love to see it. I'm gonna just make their firing ports a little bit bigger so they can see what's going on. They can see what's around them. Who's around me right now? And then we have Rattling guns. OP, overpowered Rattling guns. We have them all face the same direction. Because we're just that legendary. And then we have black hole flares with brass orbs everywhere. Photogrees. I have concentrated my fire on one flank. If they come on the other flank, then whatever. I don't care. See, that's the thing, is I don't care. See, what you guys don't understand about me? I don't care. You think I care? No, 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 no. That's just you seeing what you want to see and believing what you want to believe. Because I don't actually care. You see, I don't really care. Yeah. We're gonna build a box within a box within a box. See, look at that. Look at that. There's only a box over here. Then there's just a big tail that goes off into nowhere because they're dumb and stupid. And I will not be defeated by this Slaaneshi fool. Okay. Black hole flares are going to be a control group. All my rattling guns will be a control group. All my wolf rats will be a control group. And then everybody else is a big old fat control group. Let's do it! Victory or death! For Scaven Blight! And he's running away. Why is he running away? Shouldn't be running away. Alright, I quit. I quit, dude. If this guy's just gonna run, like a little baby, like a little baby man, I'm not gonna play. Why would I play? He's just gonna run. I don't play with people who run. I don't play with runners. Nah, not today. Not me. No, no. All right, you guys get in there. Rattling guns. Pin cushion this fool. Rat ogres, get up there. There's too many units. There's too many men. Too many people making too many problems. And I just did summon a plague. Tell me why there is 2 brass orbs over there now. Wah, 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 wah. Cause this is the game we're playing. Whoa, and I lost all my rattling guns. Whoa. So use them and let's start shooting. Oh, whoa, at some of the dumb bullshit. Superman, where are you now? When there's a whole bunch of garbage on my screen. Well, I can't tell what's going on now. It turns out this is too chaotic. And this is the time. And this is the place. I shouldn't have taken ranged units. Oh, 'cause they got nothing to shoot. Tell me why can't my ranged units carry me? Wah, 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 wah. And this is the end of my run now. Ignore them! Unbreakable warp fire throwers, kill! Kill, feast on the flesh of mankind! Black hole flayers, you're all routing, oh no! Oh jeez, oh gosh! Look at the damage! Dog! Oh! Oh my goodness! Yeah, range units was not a good idea. As we can see, these death dealers have not gotten much done. What are the other death dealers doing? They did a little better. I think they got a full volley onto that lord. I think that was their deal. Joke's on you, plague. Human Boy says, Rattling guns suck. Human Boy takes Rattling guns for the 90th time. Rattling guns suck. Human Boy is surprised. What? What? That's crazy. No, I'm not shocked. Rattling guns are poo-poo. But it's okay. But it's all right. It's just a for fun game on a for fun stream, man. And I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all that my fucking railing guns are so trash. I'm not mad. I've chilled out over the years. I have calmed down about how fucking garbage railing guns are. Holy shit. Anyway. Hey, whatever, dude. How you doing? How you doing? We might have been buying some time, dear viewers, for a thing. One second, 1 second. They didn't give me a spec slot, those bastards. Give me my spec slot. Is it FFA time? It might just be FFA time. There we go. I got my spec slot. So I had the other 4 players who were not fighting me at that time make an FFA with their ultra big armies. Sipa joined. Looks like Captain Tealis didn't show up, so Sipa slipped in here. So we'll have Tzeentch, Slaanesh, Nurgle, and Archaon Undivided. No Khorne. Phil Collins or Disturbed version? I don't know who Phil Collins is. So disturbed version. I'm kidding. I know who he is. But disturbed version. No comm? We'll let you on while I watch this epic battle. No comm what? What? No comm what? What are you saying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be mean. But I am. I'm gonna check out these armies. Slaanesh. Tzeentch. Nurgle. Archaon. Archaon the Everpony. Video unavailable. This video contains content from the World Music Group. Jeremy, I tried to click on it. I tried because I wanted to hear the do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Like Clan Wars and Clash of Clans. What are you saying, Prime? Would be cool to see some of the other battle types, like people having to defend their settlements. Oh yeah. I wish the pathing in sieges was better. Honestly, sieges just need like wider streets. I know it's weird because it's like, if you look at the actual model size, the city streets are wide enough, but for battle maneuverability and like actually getting your units to behave correctly, you just need wider streets so units can actually move around without weird pathing jank. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Slaanesh is ready. Nurgle is thinking. Tzeentch is thinking. Ash on the Archaon Undivided is thinking. Archaon is ready. Nurgle still getting it together. Tzeentch is ready. Nurgle still getting it together. Hurry up, Nurgle! Hurry! Hurry, dear God, they're coming! They're breaking down the door. They'll be here any second. You have to go. You have to go immediately or we'll all die. Oh, we got a 0 gold spend. Nice. Good for you, dude. Will the winner get a special Discord role? I'll special Discord your role. This is the final game of the day. We have a probably crazy laggy 4-person large army size free-for-all. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. Also, preparing a conversation topic. Because this is gonna be laggy for sure. I watched Django Unchained for the first time last night with my friends. What the hell is that movie? That is a wild movie. It has some very strong comedy timings, but then like the actual subject matter, it takes itself super seriously. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like it's a serious comedy. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. Speaking of things I don't like fun. I don't like free-for-alls. So here we are on the Woodland Ravine. Oh, whoa. I didn't pick this map. I didn't do this. You can't blame me. I loved it. I love Django Unchained. You can't blame me for this, all right? As the armies form up along multiple sides of a wooded ravine. And Tarantino, baby. The shootouts are wild in that movie. Yeah, they're pretty crazy. They're pretty crazy. For Slaanesh, I don't even know how we're going to go through these armies. Rough, broad strokes. Slaanesh took a bunch of Chaos Spawn, Hellstriders, Fiends, some Chariots, a Forsaken front line, and then some Skirmish Cav with the Demon Prince of Slaanesh. On the other side, for Nurgle, we have Rot Knights, Plague Ogres, Bilious Thunderguff, and another Chaos Giant. Rot Knights, the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, once again, Volnir repping his crew. And then we have, again, the spamming of healing through the Curse of the Leper and Stream of Corruptions. Then we have Pestigors for frontline and Forsaken as well. On the Tzeentch side, no, this is Archaon. Archaon Undivided. We have Hellstriders of Slaanesh, Rot Knights, Fiends, Aesion the Fallen, Knights of Immolation, a front line of Marauders, a Hellcannon ROR, Severed Claw, Archaon, and some Hellstriders. So he truly took everybody's units. And then we have Tzeentch. Tzeentch took some Marauder Horsemen, pink and blue horrors. No, just all pink horrors. One blue horror. Front line of Spears, another Aesion the Fallen. That is 2 Aesions the Fallen in this one. Exalted Hero and a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch of Metal on a War Shrine to generate more Winds of Magic as the battle goes on, predicting a blob fight. We do have 1 Changebringer. But Slaanesh spawned a mass amount of Vanguard Light Cavalry around the Tzeentchian forces, and as the game starts off, actually we're not lagging that bad yet, so here we go. They go straight through. They are going to run up on some of the skirmishing units, but they'll get the skirmishers fine. But now you got Chaos Knights and the Severed Claw. That is going to be a little more difficult now, isn't it? But Tzeentch is off to a nasty surprise at the start as Slaanesh immediately guns for him. And the rest of the Slaaneshi forces coming over as well, as the Demon Prince takes a very long way over the top of that phallic monument. Undivided moving down through the ravine. They are skirmishing with Nurgle a bit, but it looks like they have their attentions unfocused as Nurgle does catch up to their skirmishers pretty easily. They're starting to fall back now. Nurgle is charging at Archaon's forces. Slaanesh is charging over towards Tzeentch. In comes a Phantasmagoria, I believe it's the bound one from the Marquis of Masochism, lowering the leadership of these units, getting them to rout a little bit easier, especially those Chromatic Abominations. Really want those guys' demonic instability crumble as the Chaos Lord and the Exalted Hero of Tzeentch try and hold back the Slaaneshi tide. Other Tzeentch units are turning to try and get their fire down on this side, but the chaos might be too much. As we saw in my Scaven game, it's very hard to micro your range units correctly when the game is all crazy. Doom Knights and Aesion are doing a good job chasing off some of the Slaanesh light cab in the forest, but the pink and blue horrors have not been able to fire much at all. The Sibilant Slaughtercade is into that back line. And Marauder Horsemen of Archaon kiting around with Slaanesh's Fiends. Meanwhile, Nurgle's front line is about to hit. Nurgle took the most infantry out of everybody here so far. Forsaken, Pestigors, and the Frolickers, Bubonic, Rot Knights, and all these guys moving in. Archaon is going to have a hard time keeping his Hell Cannon online, so it looks like he is going to hold his ground for now. We do have a Chosen with Great Weapons. I missed them. Hello, Chosen. Hello, Great Weapons. They try and hold back the forces of Chaos. Already killed an entire Forsaken, but Plague Ogres are here to stay, and they are going to churn through that front line eventually, as Nurgle always does. Slaanesh has officially made Tzeentch's army into utter chaos, as the pink horrors are all wrapped up in melee, unable to escape and get their shots off. Chaos Lord of Tzeentch gets isolated in Forsaken and Fiends, which is also a bit of a problem for him. And the Changebringers, where are you? What are you doing? They're shooting at Hellstriders near the edge of the map, and some Marauder Horsemen I see as well. Running out of ammunition, but doing their best. Tzeentch and Sipa are currently the furthest on damage value, Slaanesh and Tzeentch respectively, but their melee did start earlier. We can see Nurgle's PA and Ash catching up as their melee is now fully underway. Warriors of Chaos front line is slowly failing as Nurgle churns through Plague Ogres and Giants running forward to deal with Aesion the Fallen, who is starting to drain them down now, but Bilious Thunderguff is here, and he's here to say, I'm gonna beat you up either way. Back on the Slaanesh-Tzeentch showdown. Chaos Sorcerer is doing fine. He's at 40% intensity for his spell charging. And with Aesion the Fallen providing a constant Mortis Engine effect on everybody around him in that Chaos War Shrine holding, and just generating infinite winds of magic for more and more final transmutations, that could be actually super potent as this goes on, because he's getting constant reserves per second, not just like winds of magic power generation. Like, he's generating more winds of magic, period. So he won't burn through his reservoir as easily and then just be out of winds. One Ace in the Fallen is down. Archaon stuck fighting double giants all by his lonesome, and this is not going nearly as well for him as he would hope, so he's going to fall back. Somehow the Soul of Damnation is kept online. Archaon's forces still have some Hellstriders, still have some Skirmish Cav. Their infantry are nearly a spent force, and their Lord is not doing too great. The Hell Cannon's alive somehow. Archaon gets hit in the face with the Chaos Giant. Bilius is right behind him. Looks like Nurgle's PA will be winning over Ashe on this side. The other side, Sipa is still ahead of Keter, about 4,000 damage value, but I am actually very concerned for Sipa about these two single entities that can just sit on top of the Severed Claw and get a lot of value. Where did the Chaos Lord end up? He's alive, so Tzeentch hasn't lost their leadership just yet. Sipa's double Keeper of Secrets, including the Marquis of Masochism, are just rotating around and dealing with these Chaos Knights and whatever, but the Blob fight is going Slaanesh's way. Other Fiends are fading away over here. So Sipa still has a lead, but it is not growing. It is kind of stabilizing. Archaon's still trying to avoid the double giants however he can. His Hell Cannon still online for now, firing away. Did that actually make it through all the trees? There it goes. There it goes. Hit some Forsaken. Good for you. Nurgle's PA continuing to grind along that front line. His infantry still have a lot of gusto left because he took so dang many of them that there's always a couple more infantry left to give him support. Rot Knight ROR for Ashe trying to get away. I don't know where most of the models are. Looks like most of them are actually over here, trying to regenerate as best they can, but Nurgle's not about to let them get away. Ashe is in a lot of trouble, but what is this? Overcasted Searing Doom from Archaon, I'm guessing, and that cannot miss. Yeah, all of that had to hit something, so pretty good damage from such a cheap spell. Looks like Ashe is abandoning ship. He's going to go try his luck on the other fight and get a little bit more damage value, and he's just abandoning everything that he has over here. He's like, listen, fight to your last man, do what you can, but I'm out. I'm out. Live to fight another day, keep getting value. Pink Horror's somehow still alive. Looks like they're mostly getting buffs from the Giver of Glory. Another overcasted Final Transmutation from the Tzeentch caster. Both Keeper Secrets hit by that. AC in the Fallen, still full HP and regenerating barriers, is going on a hunt. Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch has gotten 2,300, 2,400 value from his Final Transmutation casts. Chaos Spawn pretty low, Fiends pretty low. Sipa is running out of units, period. And where's the Demon Prince? Did the Demon Prince die? No way the Demon Prince died. Lord dead. When, where, what, why, how did the Demon Prince die? That's not allowed. As Ashe's Rotting Riders are getting taken off the map by Nurgle's PA. Nurgle's PA is almost fully cleaned up this other side. Archaon did rejoin this fight for a bit just to get a cheeky Searing Doom down and run. Run! Run! He's going to take a fight with some Fiends there for now, but I want to check in over on Tzeentch. So for Tzeentch, we have... Oh, no, those aren't Tzeentches. They're just a different kind of blue. Ashe's Marauder Horsemen and Marauder Horse Masters are kiting out the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, and he does not like that. He really liked the blob melee fight that was happening earlier. He does not want to get shot on his super tall mount by all these different guys. Meanwhile, more blue and pink horrors are getting knocked down. Damage values are shockingly similar for how crazy of a big fight this has been. Everybody's very close. I think Sipa is almost a spent force, but he is ahead on the balance on the damage value. Nurgle's PA has the largest army left, but he's slow, so he's having issues getting value out, like getting into the fights he needs. And I would say Ashe is objectively in last. He is also almost a spent force, about as down and out as Sipa is, but he's also last place on damage value. So yeah, I think it's a fight to see if Nurgle's PA can win with that like last man standing bonus. He just needs to stay close enough to everyone else. And I honestly think Keter's still in a decent spot. Like, look at these Final Transmutations from this Tzeentch Shrine caster. That's pretty insane. As AC in the Fallen jumps in, wants to tear out off some stuff, wants to drain some things down, as that big Final Transmutation is still just cooking. But two Giants versus Asian is going to be very, very tough for the poor Fallen. I did put him on one of my worst regiments of renown. In a free-for-all, he provides a Mortis engine and all that stuff. I get it, but like, he's just such a terrible duelist, and he takes a lot of damage even from just other melee stuff, that he's not going to have a good time. Archaon throws down an overcasted Searing Doom once again, just wants to get some damage value out. This probably helps Tzeentch more than it helps Nurgle, but neither side really liked that, obviously. I mean, of course not. Who's this? So this is Keter's Severed Claw. I don't know how they got separated from the Chaos Sorcerer and the Mutal Vortex Beast, but they definitely should have stayed side by side with these guys who definitely needed their help. Looks like now they're trying to get away. Meanwhile, the last of Sipa's forces grouped up. Slaanesh just had one last stand as Nurgle's PA just rolled over them, and PA does take the lead on the damage value, and I still think he has the lead for army on the map. So I wonder if the Chaos Gods form some kind of temporary alliance to take out Nurgle, or what they're going to do, as another spell is getting cast. No way, you have another Final Transmutation of, wow, this guy's casting all of the spells. He has a lot of spell mastery behind it too, so it is buffed up. But it's not an overcast. As Lord of Tzeentch and the Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, both with their anti-large and armor-piercing dive in. They have barriers, but it's super deceptive. Their HP bars are so low that the barriers are almost negligible. We can see one hit from the Giants takes out those barriers, and already the Exalted Heroes think about leaving. The Fallen tries to hop in there, but it does not look like a alliance of the Dark Gods will come in and try and stop Nurgle from winning this game. It looks like Tzeentch is being left alone as Archaon is out for himself, and I have no idea how Slaanesh is doing overall. I see 2 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. I see a bit of a spawn. So maybe Slaanesh was coming to Tzeentch's aid. Nope, he is aiming for the Tzeentch caster. The Chaos Gods will not team up to face a common enemy. They will kick each other all the way down to the grips of the outer dimensions. Tzeentch is about out of it. All their units that they have left are routing currently, and Nurgle's PA is going to chase them off, so PA is taking a lead. Ashe still has a decent skirmish force, but he is very far behind on damage value. And Sipa, close-ish in damage value, only 2,000 behind PA, but I think he literally has 2 skirmish cav left, and I think that is it. So I don't see who can stop Nurgle now. For Keter, the only thing keeping him in the game is the Severed Claw, a full health Severed Claw. Didn't see there was an event happening, Jacker Skins. Yeah, it was fun. It was a neat idea. I did too much of a fun disparity between the two sides. So the players with the campaign exclusive good guy units just didn't have enough money to fight back. We had 1 pretty close game and 4 not close at all. Well, not close at all, but 1 really, really close game between Greenskins and Nurgle. And then the other 4 were decided victories. I say as I get distracted by chat. So what's going on? Tzeentch's Lords have rallied. Mutal Vortex Beast has rallied. Sipa's Skirmish Cav just won't leave Tzeentch alone. It looks like he did group up with Ashe, though. I haven't seen these guys trading skirmish fire with each other, so I do think that Slaanesh and the Warriors of Chaos made a slight agreement to team up and fight. I don't know why Tzeentch was left out of this agreement, because no one has lifted a finger to help Tzeentch, and now as their last forces, their Severed Claw, fight back against Nurgle's Pestigors, the rest of the Warriors of Chaos just stand by and they're like, yeah, Tzeentch, you do that. Why does everybody hate Keter so much? Someone help him. Oh, ooh. Chaos Lord of Nurgle overextends, gets surrounded by Marauder Horsemasters, but more importantly, Archaon is beating the crap out of him right now. Rot or Die gives him more leadership and a little bit of melee damage reflection, but melee damage reflection does not help in single entity fights very much. So Archaon's gonna fall back. Tzeentch forces returning. These are the Knights of Immolation for Ashe, so Archaon's forces. They're not actually helping the Severed Claw. Something is getting cast here. An Undercast, Searing Doom from Archaon. Friendly fires his own forces a little bit, but mostly hits the Pestigors of Nurgle, so it does seem like Tzeentch is finally getting some help from his brothers in the Dark Gods. Ashe and Archaon's forces have recoalesced around these guys who were hiding in the woods. Nurgle's gonna have to take a fight with them here, is getting some healing. But remember, this is Warriors of Chaos with a Nurgle theme. This isn't actually Nurgle, so there is no tier 2 fecundities coming in to heal him in the late game or anything. He only gets the healing that he naturally would get from his Sorcerer, which actually I don't see a Sorcerer, so I think Nurgle lost his Sorcerer a while ago. Archaon must have sniped him out or something. Archaon still has 3 skirmish cav with a little bit of ammo, but the same tactic that he's using to get his infantry to do a little bit better versus Nurgle in the woods. He wants to be in the woods for the punishment Nurgle takes for being large. It's also hurting his skirmish chances because they can't throw into the woods and get good damage out. So for now, they're just saving their ammunition until the melee fight is done, Searing Doom out onto the Rot Knights and Demon Spew. But Bilious, Thunderguff, and the other giants are coming over to say hello. Meanwhile, Keter's Tzeentchian Aspire champions are still doing their best. Sipa has stagnated at about 19,000 gold damage value for quite a while. He's chasing off some Pestigors to try and get above that 20,000 cap, but 2 out of ammo Marauder Horseman of Slaanesh is just not a lot. As what the hell happened here? All of a sudden the tower just collapses. Don't know why that happened. Meanwhile, we have some Chosen terror routing, because Chosen should definitely be able to terror out. That's a real thing that should happen. Cough, cough. Keter and Tzeentch still relying on the Severed Claw to do some work, and in come those skirmish cav we mentioned earlier. They were just taking a back seat as the forest fight happened, but now that the Rot Knights are coming out of the forest, the skirmish cav are once again poking away. Ash is really clinging to life. Ash or Nurgle, so Archaon or Nurgle, are going to be the last man standing, I'm betting. But Nurgle's PA is crazy far ahead on value, and Ash is very far behind. So Ash would have to get a ton of value and get the winner's bonus, and still I don't know if they'd catch PA right now. Keter feels like he's doomed, but I guess like a full health Severed Claw ain't nothing. He's been grinding with the Chaos Giant for quite a while. Sipa loses a random Marauder Horseman from chasing down the Exalted Hero of Tzeentch. I guess that was too much work for him. As Archaon and some Fiends take a fight against the Rot Knights, terror out them off briefly, but other Rot Knights are coming in. And the Skirmish Cav are still doing their best. Marauder Horsemen have 1 volley, 3 volleys on the Masters, no volleys on this Master, so Ash still has a bit of cavalry left, starting to cycle charge around. And still, Keter's Severed Claw fighting back against Nurgle wherever they can. Sipa still has not managed to cross that 20,000. He wants it. He wants it so bad. Funny how Archaon and Nurgle march across the battlefield just to fight again. It's true. Archaon's forces have 5 total volleys. No, 2 and 6. So 8 total volleys left between Marauder Horsemen. They're doing their best. A Fiend and Archaon are all they have left for melee forces. Severed Claw grinding through the Forsaken. And Sipa still cleaning up on the edges. Trying to chase down these guys. I want to see if he's even getting damage value for chasing off routing units. I feel like he should be, but I haven't seen his number go up in a super long time. Rot or Die is out from the forces of Nurgle, pushing back Archaon and the Fiends. Some Marauder Horsemasters will be left behind to cover their escape. Something happened here. Bilious Thunderguff just farted on the Severed Claw, corroding their armor. Sipa still has not gotten a single point of gold damage value. I don't know what's up with that, but for some reason chasing routing units has not been giving him anything. Oh, he just got a couple. Marauder Horseman still kiting it out. Nurgle is very low and in multiple aspects, and I hate to keep mentioning it because I sound like a broken record, but the Severed Claw are still grinding. As Bilious Thunderguff's just running away from these little Tzeentchian halberds like, hey, come here. I'll fight you, come here. Ah, you guys are cowards, just come fight us. Archaon's still skirmishing around. He's going to run out of ammo very soon. His own Severed Claw have very little HP. There we go. Finally, Nurgle caught Ash. A little overextended. Poisons and hits the Marauder Horsemen, who thought about routing for a second. Looks like they got their leadership back. Took a little bit of damage. Still have 3 volleys left. No ammo anywhere else. Nurgle goes to take the fight in the open. Father of Blades is out, debuffing the enemy, buffing himself. Over-the-top shots are still coming in. Plague Ogre's getting very low. Rot Knight's getting very low. Archaon dives in for a final fight. Crown of Domination does give ITP to his allies, terror to his enemies. Maybe he can get rid of them. And meanwhile, Keter's Severed Claw still walking around. Tzeentch will not give up. Sipa in the background still trying to get to 20,000. He just can't quite do it for some reason. Don't know why he's not getting as much value as you think he would from chasing stuff down, but the Severed Claw are here and they're poking down all these Plague Ogres. Nurgle is still an ominous force, and we still have a Marauder Horseman with 2 volleys left throwing at the Bilious Thunderguff. How have you not used all of your ammo yet? You've been throwing for so long. I feel like I check on this guy and I'm like, he has 3 volleys, and then he chucks a billion arrows and I'm like, he has 2 volleys. Just run out, damn it. Bean's getting very low. They have been rested a little bit. I guess they're already very tired, so their vigor is actually pretty low. They will Demonic Instability crumble soon. Rot Knights shatter away. Terror out for the Marauder Horseman. This Marauder Horseman has 1 volley left before I can stop caring about it, because then they'll have to get into melee and it will die horribly. Bilious farts quickly on the Fiends of Slaanesh, and that should get them to Demonic Instability crumble. There they go. Crown of Domination, giving them a bit more leadership. Still have 10 Plague Ogres, still have 2 Giants, though they are very wounded, and the Chaos Lord Nurgle is less than 1,000 HP. Ash is falling back. Barely any ammo left to use. Marauder Horsemen get downhill charged by the Chaos Lord of Nurgle and the Plague Ogres. They'll get taken out. They'll probably shatter soon. And the Giants, everyone's just avoiding Tzeentch's Severed Claw. We've somehow hung on this long and now actually give Tzeentch a decent chance to be the last one standing. Sipa's Marauder Horsemen have been trying to chase things off. Over here we have a desperate battle between Plague Ogres and Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. It looks like the Plague Ogres will win out, pushing Sipa off the map. Sipa's grayed out for now because he has 2 units that are routing, but if either of these rally, he will pop back up into the game, but he couldn't quite get to 20,000 value. Meanwhile, these Marauder Horsemen still have 1 frickin' ammunition. How do you still have ammo? Well, now it doesn't matter because they end up in melee and they are getting cooked in that melee. They will rout. They don't shatter just yet, but they're losing a lot of HP, so they might shatter, and then that ammunition won't matter worth a thing. Sometime this century, someone has to fight the Severed Claw, and the Severed Claw will do very well there. Sipa is officially off the map. I don't see Slaanesh anywhere. Ooh, he might rally down here. So Sipa is almost officially gone. I'm going to keep my eye on that so you can see if Slaanesh is even still in this game. If in any capacity, no, they are gone. So Slaanesh is officially hard capped at 19,000. For Archaon and Ash, if you care, they have this Severed Claw that's almost dead, Archaon at 1/4 HP, and they have some Skirmish Cav that is either routing or barely coming back. If you're rooting for Tzeentch, their only force is this much more healthy Severed Claw, and that is it. And for Nurgle, we have very close to dead Plague Ogres, 2 very close to dead Giants, and a very close to dead Chaos Lord of Nurgle. But the Severed Claw are in it. They're fighting as best they can. They're down to 13 models, less than half HP, but their halberds are a cooking. Archaon needs to help the Tzeentch halberds, otherwise they will die. They do not have ITP, so they're going to tear out any second now unless Archaon hops in there. Archaon can't give them ITP, obviously, but just saying he could have hopped in and helped out. He did not do so. He decided Tzeentch deserves to die, and now the Severed Claw are terror routing. Archaon is stuck fighting these Plague Ogres who are kept in the fight due to a leadership buff by charging in. Speaking of charging in, the Chaos Lord does so as well. Archaon gets a big shot onto him. 1 or 2 more shots would kill the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, but he can't quite do it yet. More Plague Ogres close in onto Archie as he gets his Severed Claw nearby. He's trying to get to safety, but he's taken too many hits in a row. He might rout any second now, but a big charge in from the Severed Claw save him. He has 500 HP, and the Plague Ogres are holding on to the last man. They will not rout as Archaon takes a couple more shots to the back of the head. He has to just turn and fight for now, pushes them away. All these Plague Ogres are ITP, which I actually didn't know that Nurgle's Plague Ogres were ITP. That's kind of insane. 1 died or shattered, another one is just routing, and a final one is at 7 models still fighting Archaon. Meanwhile, Bilious Thundergut, 500 HP. Regular Chaos Giant, 3,200 HP, which is probably too much for anyone in this game to deal with, as the Chaos Lord of Nurgle just randomly routed for his own reasons. Archaon is staying in this fight with these Plague Ogres, trying to get them to rout so he can chase them off the map. His leadership is fine, but his health is not. He's at 300. And why won't these Plague Ogres rout? They finally do, but the healthy Giant's coming in. 3,000 HP is more than everyone else in this map combined, and he clubs Archaon in the back of the head to end the free-for-all. Double Giant OP. The final scores are Nurgle with 31,000 points, Tzeentch with 21,000 points, Slaanesh with just around 20,000, and Archaon with 18,000. Nurgle with a pretty decisive win in the free-for-all overall. That is GG, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging around in kind of a weird, chaotic, fun stream. Hopefully people had a good time. Didn't take themselves too seriously. And with that, I'm going to just troubleshoot what's going on with this stream stuff. I have nothing else for you. So if you're still here, like, leave. Get out of here. Go on. Go on, shoo. I'm going to put up a text that just says troubleshooting stream things. Stream done troubleshooting. Boom. All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shoot. Come on. Stream current bitrate is 4,500. So if anybody knows OBS, here's what we're dealing with. Look at this. Look at this garbage. Here's what we're dealing with. So look at that. Stream's current bitrate is 4,557. It keeps updating every so often. We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 13,500. Okay, cool. Then if you come over here to my OBS settings, output, my bitrate output is 15,000. So that's what I've told my thing to do. So then you might be like, well, okay, you said 15,000, YouTube's getting 4,500. Clearly it's your internet's fault. Then if we do internet speed, so back over to the other display, internet speed, run speed test. So these are in megabits, which is 1,000. So you need to divide everything by 1,000, times everything by 1,000. And I believe it's upload speed, which is what matters here. So my download speed is 946 megabytes, and our upload speed is 38, which we need to times by 1,000 because it's megabits instead of bits. So my upload speed is almost 40,000. When I'm telling OBS to stream at 15,000, why the hell is YouTube only getting like 5? Pissing me off. So does any, like, actual questions, does anybody know anything about like that? So when's the stream start? Never. Stream bitrate is so freaking low. Why are you so low? Okay, I'm just looking at a Reddit thread. The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. I'm getting this message when I'm streaming right now. Bitrate in OBS is set to 8,000. Broadband currently has high upstream. Okay. I like quality as much as you do, however, it always comes at a cost. If you understand the act of compression allows us to record video reasonable sizes. When it comes to streaming, bitrate is a common limitation either end. I'm not a big fan of that. If you want to show your issues properly, what does that mean? We stream using AMD HVW, record using HVAC so you don't overload the encoder. It's highly advised to stream at 2,560 to get the VP9 encoder on YouTube's end. Oh, okay. I'll try that. Hold on. So video, scaled resolution. Oh, I'm already doing that. Poop. Okay. So I already did that. Prime was saying there's a good Tom Scott video on the topic. Yeah, I might have to look into that. Because my stream's bitrate is still tanking for some reason. Okay, I'll troubleshoot this more later. Bye, everybody.